This is the 8th of November, Wednesday. Please make sure to answer the questions and send them to me via video before Tuesday of next week for full 8-point credit. So here we go. We're starting with the story that we actually started a little bit with last week, but I want to take us back to the Mishnah, which actually is the Mishnah under which this story is embedded, because I find it fascinating. So the Mishnah asks a question, and the Mishnah asks a question. Of course, this is tefillin. Tefillin is kind of like prayer jewelry, and a boy and girl, right after they are bar bat mitzvah, take on the mitzvah of putting on tefillin every morning. And you'll notice that there is a head tefillin, or we'll call that tefillah for the rosh, and a tefillah for the arm. Okay, so we have the head tefillah, we have the arm tefillah. And the question is, do they go together or are they separate? Meaning, suppose I only had the arm tefillah and I didn't have the head tefillah. Should I wait around until I can find another pair that has both? Or can I just put on the one without the other? Do they rely on each other, or are they each separate? So what's your opinion about that? That's question number one. Question number two is, so the Mishnahs in Menachot talk about, there are a whole bunch of them that have the phrase, does if this kind of can't be done unless there's this. Basically, we say one thing me'akevs the other, right? One thing, me'akev means in English, to delay. Having one and not the other delays having not the other delays having this one. So meaning they act together as a unit, and you can't do one independently. But if you could do them independently, one would eno me'akev, meaning doesn't me'akev the other. You can do these as independent mitzvahs, meaning, is this putting on the both of them together, is that equal one mitzvah point, or is it actually two? One mitzvah point, one, and two. Or is it three? One separate, one separate, one together, meaning three mitzvah points. So I forget what I answered in the question. Okay, but so the phrase is Eino me'akev ze el ze. So the answer for this one is, to fill in one part of the tefillin doesn't me'akev the other, meaning I don't need both in order to put on my tefillin. I can put on just this part or just this part. I don't actually need both. And interestingly enough, there is a connection between this idea and our beginning of our Talmud story. So what does the Talmud story say? What does the Talmud story say? And of course, we're talking about these little things, these little beautiful decorations that are placed on the different words in the Torah. All right. So here we have the story. Rav Yehuda says that Rav said, when Moses ascended on high, meaning when Moses went up Mount Sinai and maybe even above Mount Sinai, kind of kept on going and went to God, he found, to get the Torah, he found Hakadosh Baruch Hu, which is God. And by the way, that's an acronym, right? It stands for Ha Kadosh Baruch Hu, right? Hakadosh Baruch Hu. He found God sitting and tying crowns on the letters of the Torah, and all those different things are kind of crowns. Crown here, crown there, right? And Moses says before God, Ribono Shel Olam, Master of the Word. Again, acronym. Ribono, Rab Shel Olam, Master of the world. Who is preventing you from giving the Torah without these additions? And God said to him, there's a man who is destined to be born after several generations. Akiva ben Yosef is his name. He's destined to derive from each and every one of these thorns of these crowns, mounds and mounds of Jewish law. And it's for his sake that the crowns must be added to the letters of the Torah. Okay? So again, So what is the connection between this idea and this idea? That's question number 2. And then, so what is the connection between? Interestingly enough, the uh, the the word here used is Ribbon Shalom. Who me'akev? Who is delaying your hand from giving me this Torah? Right. So let's just kind of set the scene for a second. Right. So we've got Moses basically saying, "Oh my goodness." The people are down at below the mountain. They're waiting for me to come back. They know I'm set to come back. I need to get the Torah. Hurry it up, please. God, hurry it up. Hurry it up. I need to bring the Torah down, you know? And God says, no, no, hold on for a second. I will actually, I need to kind of finish writing these things. And Moses is like, what are you talking about? It's not going to help us with help us with the words, right? All the words are there. Help us with our understanding. Nothing's changing about it. It's not like I'm finished writing the Torah. I'm finished putting on these little decorations on the Torah. But come on, hurry up, hurry up. The people are waiting. And to make matters worse, what do we know? What do we know is happening below the mountain? If we were to have like a split screen here, Vayar Ha'am, and the people, they saw Ki Boshesh, that Moses was delaying in going down from the mountain. Vayikahel Ha'am al Aharon, and the community, all the people gathered on Aaron. Basically, and what do we know is happening now? They are actually starting to build the golden calf. And by the way, they're starting to build the golden calf. The fact that the golden calf is done, eventually that leads to what? The smashing of the 10 commandments. So this is really strange going on here. So here we have Moses saying, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. God saying, no, wait, I need to do this thing. But because of the waiting and needing to do that thing, those commandments are going to be destroyed. So I have this sense that there's like a cost benefit analysis going on here, right? You've almost got, let's like take it from God's point of view for a second. So God can either do one or the following. He said, if I wait to hand the Torah to Moses after I've added all of her directions, then fill in the blank. That's question number 3. But if I don't wait and hand the Torah to Moses without the decorations, 4, what will happen? Right? So God is making basically a cost benefit analysis, and he's asking which should I do? And we know in the end the choice he makes is I want you to wait, Moses, even though that waiting is going to cause the very thing I'm handing you to be destroyed. Right? So this is a little very strange. So, but there's this larger message in this. What is that larger message? Right? And that's question number 5. What is that larger message? What is the larger message, I think? Right? God is almost saying, and I think it was, who was it that brought this up in class? I forget who brought this up in class. But the main idea here is that I would rather have in the short term this Torah destroyed, making me need to make a new Torah, because I know that without these chupchiks, without these little crowns, Torah will not actually live and be alive in the future. So it's an amazing statement about what Torah is. That Torah without the crowns, Torah without the possibility of interpreting it, of making it more than it is, it's just not worth it. I don't want this to be a stagnant document that just stays and never can develop. I want to code within it the possibility of an openness rather than a closedness. It's fascinating to me. All right. So what happens next in the story? So so basically, so how does this relate to, right? The me'akev is basically, does one thing delay the other? And basically saying, does the chupchiks, does the crowns delay the giving of the Torah? Or should, could we have the Torah without the crowns? And basically God is saying, no, we can't have the Torah without the crowns. go up, move on the story. Moses said before God, Ribono shel olam, and that's this word right here. Show him to me. And God says, right, so he's saying, this amazing guy that you've basically said, I'm willing to delay the creation of the Torah for his sake. I'm willing to actually allow for the destruction of this Torah for his sake. Who is this guy? Moses is very eager to meet him. And God says, Choser la'achorecha. Basically, something like Choser means return, le to, cha your, achor to the back of you, almost like turn around. But I consider this like go into the time machine, and I will pick you up from here and bring you to Rabbi Akiva's study hall, where he is the teacher, Rabbi Akiva's classroom. Okay, so Moses went and sat in the 8th row. So just so you know why that's important, the eighth row is like the place way, way, way in the back. And it used to be that the very best students would sit up front, right next to the teacher, which is horrible pedagogy, but that's the way it was done. And as you got better and better, you would kind of progress further and further up to the front. So he's in Rabbi Akiva's study hall, and he doesn't understand anything that they're saying, and Moses' strength waned. Now, why is it that Moses, we talked about, what does it mean Moses' strength, he basically is deflated. Why is Moses deflated here? What is it that deflates him? Okay? And then we're going to see what the Talmud seems to think has deflated him. Moses, because here now it's going to say his mind was put at ease. He was kind of revived in some way. Okay, so when Rabbi Akiva arrived at the discussion of one matter, his students said to him, Rabbi, minayin lach. Rabbi, how do you know what you know? Who said this law in the first place? That's law they're talking about. And Rabbi Akiva said to them, halacha leMoshe misinai. It is a ruling from Moses when Moses was on Mount Sinai, meaning it comes from Moses itself. And Moses hears this and his mind is put at ease. So number 7 is, why is it that Moses' mind is put at ease here? What is Akiva doing that allows the mind to be put at ease? And we came up with a couple ideas in class for what that might be. What is your idea, Aaron? Okay. And then it says, right, so, and by the way, and so question number 8 is, now knowing why his mind was put at ease, why was his mind not at ease in the beginning of the story? Okay. And then Moses, and then Moses returned, basically, so he's on this time machine. Time machine is now coming back, and came before God, Hakadosh Baruch Hu, and said before him, Ribono shel olam, Master of the world, you have a man as great at this, and yet you still chose to give the Torah through me. Why? Right. So what, question number 9, what is Moshe asking? What is Moshe saying here? And one question Xavier asked in class is, what is it that Moses saw there that made him think Akiva is such an amazing teacher? What is it? So look closely at Moses did not see that much happening, and yet from that brief experience, he says this is an amazing, amazing teacher. What is it that he saw, and why is that? That's number 10. What is it he saw? And number 11 is, why from that bare, small, slim bit of evidence is Moses able to say Akiva is a great teacher? That's 11. Okay. Then Moses says, why me? Why not him? Just give the Torah to him. Now, imagine, question number 12 is, imagine you're the Talmud right here, and you're putting you want to put words in God's mouth. What are you going to say to Moses at this point when Moses says, why not him? Let him be the person who received the Torah on Mount Sinai. So it should say, right, instead of Torah tziva lanu Moshe, Akiva tziva lanu Moshe. And what answer would you give, number 12, would you put in God's mouth here, right? And now let's see what answer is given by God. God says to him, Shtok kach Allah b'machshava lefanai. Quiet. This is what I've decided to do. This has come before me in my machshava, my thinking. This is what I'm thinking. This is why I did it, because I did it. Just kacha. You know, don't argue with me, God. Don't argue with me, Moshe. I did it. This is why I did it. Don't argue with my reasons. And that's where we end for the day. So why is God responding, number 14, with that such a harsh idea? Almost like, is it a I can't explain it, I just did it because I don't have a reason? Or is it I have a reason but I'm not telling you, Moshe? And that's where we got to for the day.